This is Nick Miguez, Christian Ertel, Adam Ayub, and Luke Ayub. This episode, we're going over what happened in game week 8 of the Premier League. We got an international break coming up, so we won't have to give our predictions for next week, but we will still be doing Player of the Week, Stinker of the Week, and a little middle segment called Start, Bench, Sell. Getting straight into the first game, it was Luton v. Tottenham. These Spurs team, they do like to play with their food, as we're learning, but they do always usually come good with it. Mickey Van de Ven got him one for the team. He's been all over the place except on the score sheet, but he finally got one. What y'all think?
I mean, not the prettiest game from Tottenham, but they sit top of the league going into the international break. They came into this game with 138 shots, which is by far the most in the Premier League this year. Early on, Richarlison had a really good chance to make it 1-0, but he just missed a complete sitter across the goal. Just really tame finishing early on from Spurs, but I thought that it was pretty unfortunate that Yves Bissouma got sent off for flopping. I didn't think it was yellow card worthy, but he was already on a yellow, so
yeah, certainly not second yellow card worthy for that.
Hey, but those are the rules. I mean, that was a flop.
Rules are rules.
It was in a dangerous spot, which I think, the potential impact to the game, I'm okay with it. There's no place for that. That's what they're trying to get rid of this year.
Yeah,
if he did get the call he was looking for, that would have been egregious.
They definitely need to be consistent.
Maybe correct punishment.
They need to be consistent with that flopping call. Talk about that a little bit later on, though. But I thought Madison did a great job to set up Van de Ven, made one dude miss, and then played the ball into him. Great first-time finish from Van de Ven. Van de Ven was also looking really, really good going forward the whole game. He seemed like he was playing a lot more attacking than he has this whole season. But really gritty win from Tottenham to make them go top of the league.
They were definitely all over him. Richarlison missed. I counted a couple sitters at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Could have had him up 1 or 2-0 within 5 minutes.
For Luton, I thought that they were very fortunate to not concede in the first 20 minutes. They were kind of getting peppered early on, like we were talking about. Richarlison had some bad misses early on, but I thought Kaminsky in goal also had a great first half. But Adebayo early in the second half missed a similar one to Richarlison's, just a ball across the goal. Should have put it in, but just didn't. Luton could have easily gone up 1-0 with that, but I thought they were impressive defensively, and they had a lot of chances in this game. They definitely didn't just lay down and take the loss. They were pretty threatening late as well, but I think they're going to be a pretty tough team to play at home, especially.
I think games like this might be kind of tricky for Tottenham when teams are more packed in. Spurs want to run, and they're just not able to do that in games like this. They got to be a little more patient, break down the defense a little more. But they didn't do too bad with it. They created a lot of chances, and they took their one really good chance. Their best playmaker all year came up big with the all-important toe poke to set up the goal. So Spurs are undefeated.
Man, Wi-Fi's extra bad tonight, guys. But just want to say, sometimes your offense isn't going to be there. You got to win ugly, and they did that here.
Let's move to the next game. It'll be Burnley versus Chelsea. Big 4-1 win for Chelsea. I'll turn it over to Mr. Miguez.
I'm happy. I'm not, I'm good. We have to stay humble. we cannot make an ass of ourselves after the first 5 or so weeks of this season. But it is very nice, very relieving. Makes you feel really good seeing 4 go your way, 4 goals go your way. It's weird. It's a weird feeling after what we've been going through for a couple months now. Honestly, ever since the whole calendar year of 2023. So this might be our best goal of the year, or best game of the year so far. Cole Palmer gets to see the net move. Nicholas Jackson gets to see the net move again.
Needed it
in open play with a nice little move.
I thought Raheem had an amazing game. Pretty much every note that I have for this game mentions Raheem, especially early on. He was, I mean, every threat that Chelsea had early on, I thought that he was amazing. It was all coming from him. I think you heard that I said bench him last week, and that's on me.
If you had to play nothing but low-level Premier League teams all year, Raheem Sterling is your guy you want on your team. You don't want Messi. You don't want anybody else. You want Raheem Sterling. Maybe not.
He was the focal point.
Like Jesus Ferreira versus the island teams.
He was the focal point. I didn't. He was involved in more goals than probably anybody this weekend, but I didn't get my player of the week probably just because. It's a good effort, whatever, but you have the same performance against a team like Liverpool or Tottenham or Man City, and you don't get 3 goal contributions. It's not. It's what it is. But overall, very happy, excited to play Arsenal after the international break.
And it wasn't great on that first goal for sure. Cucurella might want to close your legs, buddy. Can't let that happen.
Yeah, that's his fault. That was pretty unathletic from Cucurella.
I guess I'll try to talk, with this Wi-Fi situation. Just a real nasty result here for Burnley. Felt really good with the first goal. And then, no other than the kill all the momentum with the own goal. That guy is so bad. He does not belong in this league. I have to replace him because it is pitiful. James Trafford, you might as well put me in goal because what are you doing back there, dude? And Raheem Sterling, unreal. Ate our lunch all night, but you just got to move on from this one. We're road warriors. Can't play at Turf Moor. If you want 3 points, come down to Turf Moor. We'll give it to you.
I thought Lyle Foster did
and one
a really,
last
really
thing.
good job.
One last thought. The blowing of Cole Palmer probably needs to relax a little bit.
Yeah.
There's this thing where if you play for Man City and go play for another team, you're automatically good. The kid did nothing all game. He scored a PK, and oh god, man, he's gonna go off for Chelsea this year.
And he assisted.
He was getting freaking. Oh yeah, when guys weren't playing by then. We had a 42-year-old left back locking him up all game.
Yeah, let's
use them in
the first game he's done anything.
But I thought that Burnley, the first goal was really, really nice from Lyle Foster to hold off 2 defenders and then play a Dobert, I believe is his name.
Dobert was dangerous.
Yeah, he had a pretty good game. He had another good chance in the 54th.
Sanchez.
By that time, it was.
Didn't start Colio. Not sure what
he did have a chance late,
doing.
I believe, Koleosho, but I thought it was just sloppy defending from Burnley, completely shredded by Chelsea's offense, and they had a few chances late, but they just couldn't take them. And by that time, 4-1, you're really just making the result look a little bit better.
I'm ready to move on from a company whenever they are.
Wow.
Wow. I'd like to see JJ Watt in that locker room.
That's a motivator of men right there.
Hey, he'll get the guys playing hard. That's really all I can ask for.
All right. Yeah, I actually do have a question for this one. If you had to choose 2 wingers out of the 3 that we've been talking about for Chelsea, Mudryk, Cole Palmer, and Raheem, who are the two that you're throwing out rest of the season? You got to get rid of one. For me, I would say Mudrick and Cole Palmer still.
God,
You know,
dog.
Cole Palmer has so much ball knowledge from Pep. You know, when he played at Man City, so he's really good because he sat the bench at Man City. So probably Cole Palmer and Sterling. Okay.
I think Sterling's still pretty good. Cole Palmer, man, I don't know.
I just in my mind,
I haven't seen him too much.
Sterling's best attribute is his pace, and he's losing it. I mean, so
Cole Palmer and
I beg to differ.
Cole Palmer and Sterling are the best two players, but for the future of the team, you want to have Mudrick playing as early and often and scoring as early and often as you can. You just got to use Raheem as a nice whatever tool to have just to teach guys,
I just think that
stuff like that.
Mudrick and Sterling's best attributes are pace, and Mudrick's pace is better. So I mean, you might as well. And he's younger.
I mean, you don't think Sterling's a good dribbler?
Yeah, this is absurd.
He's not a bad dribbler, but I mean, he's not scoring 28 goals in a season.
I mean, he was on Ballon d'Or watch at the beginning of the year, I believe. If I'm not wrong.
He's the best player on the team.
First week.
His dribbling is really good, but he'll dribble an entire Burnley defense, but he's not going to do shit to. He goes against Kieran Trippier, for example. He's not doing shit there. Van Dijk, he's not getting past Van Dijk.
Dan Burn, not getting past him.
Oh God.
Alrighty, let's move to the Everton versus Bournemouth game. 3-0 win for Everton at home. Massive win for them. Feels like the curse is lifted. Great to bounce back from the Luton loss last week. I thought that Jack Harrison, the Wake Forest alumni, ACC ball, thought he had a great game. I believe he assisted and scored, yes. And the goal from outside the box, just bar down. I mean, nothing you can do about that.
Yeah,
absolutely beautiful.
Awesome.
And they scored
Jack
3
Harrison
goals
American?
at Goodison Park, man. I mean, this is what's there not to like? 3 goals at home for Everton. You thought that it would never happen.
I mean, I'm just gonna say it. Everton aren't road dogs. They're just dogs.
Yeah.
They had a great game.
Great game.
Oh, I love that Gardner goal. He had a few options. Slight look to his left, sent the goalie about a half step that way, and just snuck it by him. It was pretty.
I think Garner is actually a Man United loanee. I'm not 100% sure on that, but
bet they wish they had him right about now.
Yeah, they could use him.
I tell you what, man, Sean Dyche has my vote for manager of the year. What he
Oh my gosh,
doing in that locker room?
The turnaround from this guy. The turnaround.
I mean, the turnaround.
I mean, he was on the hot seat 2 weeks ago.
Sean Dyche turned that team around. Oh my goodness.
I think Everton could have easily scored 5 to 6 goals. I mean, 25 shots, 8 on target. They were peppering. It wasn't the best of finishing, but they were peppering them.
I got a next gen stat for you. Everton have more expected goals in the league this year than, you guessed it, Manchester City. So
wow,
Sean Dyche, I mean, we talked a lot of shit about him, but he kind of, pressure just builds diamonds sometimes. This guy just hardens up and he blocks out all the noise. He just all game. He's just examining, man. And look at him.
He likes to dig himself a little hole and start crawling out.
Even before Everton came out like hot ass, the narrative was that they are only going to win games 1-0. But that's crazy. That's a crazy stat.
Quite the opposite so far. All year Harrison, so far, they've been. I mean, they've had chances. They just haven't taken them. That's just been the story of this year so far.
Yeah,
I mean, finally starting to hit the back of the net.
The Jack Harrison guy's from England. I think he came to like an MLS youth program before college, and then he was at Wake Forest for 1 year, played 22 games, had 8 goals. But he was great. You don't see a volley from outside the box hit with the inside of your foot and actually go like upper 90 bar down, whatever.
Yeah.
But Everton was impressive, but make no mistake, is a lot because Bournemouth is really, really bad.
Terrible.
Bournemouth
Like
is
I said
really
last week,
bad.
I really think that they're the favorite, a favorite to go down. I don't think they're quite on Sheffield's level, but Zabarnyi slipping and giving the ball away to James Garner to set up the first goal, just terrible. The defense couldn't clear the ball; they just kept getting it back.
Yeah,
I don't think Neto is the problem in goal, but I mean, when you get peppered that much, at a certain point, you're going to start giving up a few goals. I thought all around it was just terrible from them.
Yeah, both of the first 2 goals were awful. Like that right back to give that away. That's not many right backs are doing that, and then not many teams can't just clear it after 4 weak crosses into their box. I don't know. Pretty much every team should be able to just clear it.
Yeah, there's not too many bright spots for them right now.
They did have a few chances late, but just can't take them.
Disappointing that this is the team that Tyler ends up at to have to.
Yeah,
Probably
he's going
gonna go
right back down.
Yeah.
I ain't got much to say about this ball game. Bournemouth better watch out. They look like they're headed towards relegation. I mean, they haven't shown any results the past 3 weeks. Tyler Adams, it's time to wake up that locker room. Get him sniffing coffee.
Definitely need to get better on the
But
back
if they
line.
do and get in that railing battle, I would go poach Sean Dyche.
That's a relegation coach right there. He's going to
the blueprint's already there. He's done it before.
All right, let's move to the Fulham versus Sheffield United game. 3-1 win for Fulham. 2 really good chances in the first half for Fulham. The Sheffield defense was just, they held up really, really well early on. Pereira should have broken the deadlock just before half, but really bad shot that went over. Game didn't really get going until the second half. Sheffield did have an American start this game, Aaron Trusty. I believe he might be on
Center
loan.
back.
Yeah, he's a center
On
back.
loan
He
from
might be
Arsenal?
on loan from Arsenal, either on loan or they bought him.
Think loan.
Yeah, I thought that Sheffield did great in the first half. I thought Fotheringham was solid in goal. The defense was pretty solid to not concede. They came out pretty hot in the second half, I thought, but just got hit on a counterattack, and then once one went in, it was kind of just snowball effect from there from Fulham.
It looked like Fulham could have had 6 goals before they scored their first.
Mm-hmm.
Another note I had, Cam Archer will get a move in January or this summer. Cam Archer is very nice. Too good to be on that team.
Just 21 years old too.
The one goal that Sheffield scored wasn't even scored by them. It was an own goal by Anthony Robinson.
Yeah,
and probably one of the worst own goals I've ever seen in the Premier League, at least. I'm not gonna lie.
The worst one I've ever seen was last week. Fucking
Matip?
Matip. That was the worst one I've ever. Actually,
banger, bro.
in a way, it's
was
the
a
best
banger.
one I've ever seen. But
Yeah, that was the
no
greatest.
saving that.
The announcers gave Anthony Robinson a lot of slack on this one. It did take 2 deflections. Both of the right back and one of the center backs deflected it on its way to him. They gave him a lot of, they went easy on him.
I would say
it looked pretty bad in real time.
I would say Anthony's is harder to deal with because it's coming across the goal, and if he just if it just hits him off any part of his leg, just weirdly, it could go that direction. Matip's is coming at him. He is near side. He's outside the post, and he somehow just sends it inside, sneaks it in there. I think it's way worse, but
yeah, definitely way worse.
I thought that the second.
I'll be the first to admit. Oh,
the second goal from Fulham I thought was amazing. Tom Kearney won the ball back and then immediately just blasted a long shot, hit off the crossbar and then off Fotheringham's head. I think they gave it as an own goal for Fotheringham, but amazing strike from Tom Kearney. I think another Scottish lad. Great weekend for the Scottish lads.
Yeah.
Fulham's been struggling to score goals this year. Maybe they figured something out in that second half, scoring 3. With that elite defense they have, if they can get their offense figured out, they got Tim Ream back there holding it down. So
it seemed like the last 20 minutes of the game, especially, they really got it going on offense. They only bagged 1 goal from Willian, but they looked really, really threatening later.
Willian looks like a gazelle out there. I mean, his legs are still churning. I'm really surprised. Didn't even know he was like really playing serious ball anymore. Like I knew he was in the Prem, but
Fulham's kind of a
he's
place where you could just like hide away till it's over.
Mhm.
he's
That's
one
not
of the
what he's
best
trying to
players on
do,
their
though.
team.
I'd be Raheem soon. Raheem.
Yeah.
I think for Sheffield, though, I think they're really starting to run away with the worst team in the Premier League title. They played Man United after the international break, so I mean, maybe they can get something going. But
2 bad teams going
looks
This
against
is their
each other.
chance.
I mean,
looking
that'll be
bad.
their
1
chance.
point after 8 games it's looking very, very bad for Sheffield.
playing Man U after international. That's a get right game for Sheffield.
Yeah.
Right.
Come
So-
out firing. Need to come out hot right here.
Hopefully, Man United, 1 week away from the training grounds. Hopefully, no one rapes anybody.
Jesus.
That's our
God
bridge
forbid.
to the Man U versus Brentford game.
That's just one for the
All
podcast.
right, let's get right into it.
Jesus. Let's go to the Manchester United versus Brentford game. 2-1 win for United. I'll turn it over to Adam for United Insider info.
I went and played around the golf with Man United super fan Luke Gaskin. He's ready to put Rashford on the bench.
Wow.
He wants Ganacho out there early, often, and all the time. He loves him some Ganacho. But he thinks the season has turned around from this result. So props to him for having, and he continues to shit on Chelsea for some reason. But yeah, he wants Ganacho out there. Thinks Ganacho's special. He said Ganacho creates more than Rashford ever can, and I quote.
That's a fact.
Garnacho he looks really good.
Creating chances for his teammates wise, that's a fact. There he could stop playing right now and he will have created more chances for teammates than Rashford ever will.
I feel like y'all
Rashford
are
Ball,
just does
giving
not
ball,
look up.
Rashford.
I feel like y'all aren't giving him enough credit, man. He's got
He doesn't
1 or
look
2
he
assists
doesn't
this
look
year.
up. He doesn't pick his head up once the ball's on his foot.
He's just
He's
going to work,
amazing.
man.
He's fantastic with the ball at his foot. I don't know if I've seen him pass more than twice in a game.
I thought that the way that United lined up was pretty interesting, going pretty defensive. Played with 3 center backs, Maguire, Lindelof, and Johnny Evans. Probably the nastiest 3 center
Well,
backs.
that's 3 guys that can create. Johnny Evans, we've seen him do it before.
I don't
Maguire,
know, not that
had a few
Lindelof
good-
guy.
Maguire had Lindelof. Maguire had
had
chances created. He
Yeah.
had one to Casemiro that Casemiro should have scored, but Casemiro just doesn't get up there like he used to.
Lindelof is just dog shit. It feels like they're kind of having to compensate for him. The first goal was just, terrible defending and goalkeeping. Bad pass to bad defense to bad goalkeeping. Just bad all around, I thought. And then Brentford kind of packed it in a little bit. United came out in the second half, had majority of the chances. For sure deserved to at least get an equalizer, I thought. And Scott McTominay, man, what a week. Came on in the 87th minute, scored 3 goals. 1 was offside, but he scored 2 goals to win the game. Amazing performance, I thought. I think you should give him a chance in that midfield. Why not?
United Twitter was calling for the head of whatever youth coach turned him in from a striker to a center mid. Right before he obviously he was a center mid when he broke into the first team for Man United, but he grew up a striker.
You can see it, man. He's damn good at just turning and putting the ball in the net.
Onana is terrible. I was just wanted to throw Onana is awful.
Oh,
Onana
dude, he's not.
Could have been
that
my
guy.
stinker of the week in a W for them.
He is not that guy.
He's got it on him. He's
The
a
kid's got to settle in.
total spaz.
It's crazy
Brentford,
though. He was so good in the Champions League last year.
Yeah,
And it's just-
that's what I was saying today. Miguez didn't really watch him last year. He was, I mean, playing the ball out of the back. He's always been pretty good at, but like as a shot stopper, he was so much better than he is this year, last year. It just doesn't make much sense.
I think we need to dig into his off the field.
Yeah.
Maybe he's got a girlfriend out there. You know,
Maybe Paul Pogba cursed him or something. Who knows?
Maybe
For
a little
Brentford though,
back in Milan.
for Brentford, their keeper made his first appearance this year. I'm not sure what was wrong with the other keeper, if he was hurt or something.
I think he was hurt. His form hasn't been great either, though. Like Will's talked about that in the past. Flecking sucks.
So this was the keeper's first appearance of the year. Aaron Hickey, I thought, had two solid chances early on, just couldn't take them. Wisso played a great ball to Jensen to finish it off for their first goal. And then I thought they played a really good first half. Created a good bit of chances and also played pretty well on defense. But late in the second half, I mean, they just started getting peppered, and I think the keeper's inexperience and just kind of getting thrown into the team kind of came back to bite them.
if I'm the Brentford coach, I would be praying that they had timeouts in soccer because they needed one late, man. You could just tell it was getting ugly. And when they gave up that goal, you knew United was going to get a second goal. And you need that 1 point. You got if he would have called a full timeout right there, say, guys, we got to strap in, at least get this point. But you can't do anything, and they're helpless, and they get scored on again. And you could just tell it was coming.
They needed that.
Would have been good for all of our predictions too if they could have had a timeout there. We all predicted 1-1, but we didn't take into consideration that when the Scott McTominay train leaves, he doesn't stop till he gets to where he wants to go.
Yeah,
Brentford is lucky they weren't wearing white shorts, because then it would have been really ugly. Couldn't agree more. They needed a timeout. Everyone's knees were shaking. It was just
I would have had
brown shorts in the back.
I would have had the whole team taking yellow cards for time wasting. I'd have one guy lay down and then another guy lay down.
I mean, listen, there's really nothing you can do. There's only a few things that are inevitable, and it's death, taxes, and Scott McTominay. So there's just nothing you can do. You just got to.
If I'm the coach, I'm running on. If I'm the coach, I'm running on the field. I'm telling my assistant to run on the field. I'm kicking 2 balls onto the field. They needed a stoppage in play.
Yeah. Need a red card, something. Blow the damn whistle.
I would do something if I was that coach. You could just tell they were about to lose.
Going back, before we move on, bringing back to Luke's point about Harry Maguire, chief creator, just magician.
Oh, beautiful assist.
In the 97th minute winner, Scott McTominay was assisted by Harry Maguire. It's just what he does. It's just what Harry Maguire does. He creates. He's a fluid footballer, great with his head, with his feet.
Alrighty. Let's move to the Crystal Palace versus Nottingham Forest game. 0-0 draw. Pretty evenly matched teams. I think these teams could finish, right next to each other in the table probably. Palace had 3 pretty decent chances before half, but just couldn't break the Forest defense. Mateta had 2 really, really good chances, I thought, but just mishits on the shots, put one wide and put one over the crossbar. And then Johnstone between the sticks for Crystal Palace, quietly having the best season in the Premier League. He's got 4
I'm ready to say he's
3 in a row, 3 clean sheets in a row in the Premier League.
Dude. He's good.
Yeah. But Nottingham, Awanyi's out. He's going to be out for a month with a groin injury, so they had to start Chris Wood. They also had, they signed Divock Origi right before the deadline, and he just hasn't really played. I thought that he would maybe get the start over Chris Wood, but I guess not.
He's probably been stinking it up in practice.
Yeah. Gibbs White hit the post on a chip that was so beautiful.
That was
ball over the top, first time chipping the keeper, hit the post. Man, it would have been a beautiful, beautiful game-winning goal.
The
But
announcers were like pretty critical of him on that. And I was
Very
like,
critical of
I
that
don't
shot.
understand. That would have been one of the prettiest goals I've seen
Yeah.
this year.
maybe
Yeah,
they
it was
thought that he
2
could have
inches
taken
away.
it down and gone around him or something. But
Yeah.
He
Or hit
perfectly
it or
weighted
hit it a
over the
bit
goal.
harder, he said.
Yeah, I
hit it
know,
a
that
bit
made no
harder and
sense.
less high. Whoever was talking there is one of the dumbest guys they have talking during games. That was dumb.
yeah, I think Nottingham is definitely going to struggle though with Awani out to try and to get goals, to score goals. But Murillo might be the answer. That center back, man, he made
Wonder
a
run.
wonder run up from the back and nearly scored a goal. He dribbled
Oh,
like
yeah.
two people.
TikTok
Shifty little guy.
roulettes, Maradona's helicopters, all of them.
But yeah, really evenly matched game. I thought that both teams, they're pretty much even in quality, in my opinion.
It was a defense battle, you know. Two of the most underrated goalies in the game in the league, showing out. But
Great game from Matt Turner. Great game from Matt Turner.
usually 0-0 games aren't that exciting. I thought it was a pretty exciting game.
Yeah, this was a better game than the Man City Arsenal game, probably.
Yeah,
I got both of these teams definitely around finishing. I think I said last week, 10-13. Them with Fulham. I mean, that's a slot for 4 teams, and I would almost guarantee all 3 of those teams fitting in those 4 slots. I had one note on Roy Hodgson. Roy Hodgson married his wife Sheila in 1971, 2 years before my dad was born, who turns 50 this month.
I heard that. Happy birthday, Mike. Have a big 5-0.
Happy
There
birthday,
you
Big
go.
Mike.
But that's an old gaff. Old gaff. Still
He's got
rocking
me
the
in the
do
80s, huh?
All right, Mike.
76.
I have a question for this one. If you had to choose one of these teams to finish over the other, who would you take? I think right now I would probably take Forest.
I like Forest. Forest looked better in this game.
I thought they did really good at the deadline. So
Oh yeah. New pieces. The pieces they did bring in are doing well as well. Yeah.
I
And
guess I could go with Forest. Palace looks like they haven't really bowed down in their games against the higher opponents, but Forest looks like they're going to score more goals. But Palace will probably keep more clean sheets. So it's give or take.
if draws got you 1.5 instead of 1 points, I would give Crystal Palace maybe the edge.
Yeah.
To finish a little higher.
Bubba, who would you take though?
Force.
Forced on
That one
payment then?
get through.
All righty. Let's go to the Brighton versus Liverpool game, the first Sunday game. 2-2 draw. A running theme for this Sunday. I thought Brighton came out really aggressive. Almost scored 5 minutes in, I think. I believe it might have been March. And then Adingra steals the ball early on. Just a sloppy pass. I don't know if it was from Van Dijk or Robertson.
It was Van Dijk.
It's from Van Dijk.
Hospital ball.
Yeah, just terrible ball. Steals it, catches Allison off of his line. Really easy goal for the first one.
Uncharacteristic goal that Liverpool gave up.
Yeah.
Like Van Dijk usually doesn't give hospital balls like that. McAllister was unaware. He had 2 Brighton guys around him, not looking urgent to come get the ball. And then Allison, super rare. You catch Allison not knowing where he is in the goal. He thought he was a little bit more central, a little bit more near post. He was covering too much of the far post, and it just gave Adingra an easier little near post shot that maybe shouldn't have gone in. Rare goal Liverpool conceded.
Yeah. And then 20 minutes later, Mo Salah goal, ball from Darwin Nunez and Harvey Elliott. Great to leave it for Mo Salah, who finishes it. And then for the second new Liverpool goal, Verbruggen, the keeper for Brighton, just kind of plays a risky ball. It gets stolen, and then Mo Salah draws. Was it Mo Salah that drew the penalty?
Oh, Sabaslai.
Soboslai drew the penalty, and then Mo Salah dispatches it.
Yeah, it's a pretty even game all around. Possession, expected goals, shots on goal, they're all pretty even, which is what we were kind of expecting. This is two teams that came off tough losses last week, but have been playing well majority of the year. So I think it's a fair result, and I'm excited to see where these teams are going rest of the year, next few games especially.
I thought for the last goal for Brighton, especially, Sully March did a really, really good job. He drew the free kick, and then he played it in to Lewis Dunk to make it 2-2.
Dunk on you.
I think they both could have had a couple more goals, and they both could have maybe prevented a couple of their goals. I couldn't. Yeah, pretty fair result. I couldn't tell who deserved the W, but Liverpool's set themselves up pretty well in the first. I mean, they after Brighton, that what they've played so far, the first 7 or 8 games is they've played 6 of the 8 teams that they have played are in top 8 in the league. And what else? They have I think the easiest next 6 games in the whole league. So look,
And that's Brighton that you were talking about that has a really easy run
No.
of games coming up? Or is
No,
that's
that's
Liverpool.
Oh,
Liverpool,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, they'll probably be right up in the thick of it with Spurs and Arsenal and City.
Yeah.
Like they are now.
Look for after about week 12, 13, look for Liverpool. Depending on how Man City do, look for Liverpool to be top of the league.
Yeah, their upcoming games are Everton, Forest, Luton.
Is that
Brentford.
Everton game home or away? Do you know?
That is at home. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that should be a dub.
Yikes.
yeah, but Everton are road dogs. Oh,
Yeah.
Wait.
That's
just
a
dogs.
big
Never
derby
mind,
right
look-
there.
Dogs now.
It's a big derby right there.
Cancels out.
Liverpool though, Salah up to 9 goal contributions this year, tied with Mr. Holland. And we were saying that both teams had a lot of chances. Liverpool, Ryan Gravenberg came very, very close to getting his first goal for the club in the Premier League. Just hit off the crossbar though, but I thought all around pretty solid performance from the whole team on Liverpool. But Diaz, I think Luis Diaz. I love Luis Diaz. I think he's one of the best left wingers in the Premier League. But for him to be on the same level as like a Mane, he's got to start finishing more. He's got to start finishing more. He was putting too many high and wide. I think for him to really lock down being Mane's replacement, he's got to start finishing.
I don't know, man. I don't know if they'll ever do it. I think it's got to be a mixture of like the combination of Diaz and Nunes has to be better than the combination of Mane and Firmino, or whoever else was playing center forward. Because I don't think Diaz will ever quite be there. But
Sadio Mane. He won't be Sadio Mane. Sadio Mane's pretty irreplaceable. But yeah, that combo has to be better than Firmino just worked so well with the 2 wingers. It's Darwin Núñez is definitely not capable of working that well with the 2 wingers, but Darwin can definitely do stuff that Firmino couldn't do.
Yeah.
So I guess it's all on Darwin Núñez's shoulders.
Yeah.
I think this was a decent result for both teams. I think it's hard to go to Brighton and get a point. And I also think, like, obviously Liverpool is a known powerhouse, so that's a good point for Brighton. So I think they'll both come away decently happy with the result.
I agree with that.
Definitely fair result across the board.
Alrighty, let's move to the West Ham versus Newcastle game. 2-2 draw. Pretty annoying game, I'm not gonna lie. came out, didn't look. I mean, had an early chance, I think, from Elliott Anderson. Got my Elliott's mixed up. And then Nick Pope early on, just terrible. I don't know what position he was playing there, but it was a goalkeeper. And they just get an easy tap in for Suchek. And then, I mean, the rest of the first half, they just parked the bus. It was 10 people back in the box pretty much the whole time. I mean, we were doing everything that we could to try and break the back line, but it just wasn't happening. And then came out second half. Oh, but I just got to say, West Ham came out really aggressive. I think like the first three dudes that got on the ball for us, they just laid them out on the ground. No whistles or anything. They let them play on, and then they just started flopping their ass off. I think Lucas Paqueta. I love his game. But I mean, he's just a fucking pussy. I'm sorry. You barely blow on him, and he's hitting the fucking floor. Same with the whole fucking team, really, in the first half. I thought it was disgraceful. I think it's a really pussy way to play football, but they did get a result, so kudos to them. But came out in the second half. We created a lot of chances early. Isak scored a great goal off of a free kick. I think somebody on West Ham headed it back over to him. He finished it off. And then a little bit later, came back down the field. Guimaraes switched it to Trips, who plays it in to Isak, finishes it first time pretty easily. From there, I mean, the game was wide open. And I think just the strain of playing midweek kind of got to us late when they subbed off Suchek for Kudus, and they went pretty much ultra attacking. Threw the whole fucking kitchen sink at us. I think we just ran out of gas and just couldn't finish it off. But a draw and sitting in 8th place going into the international break is a lot better than we were looking for the last international break. So I'll take it, man.
Yeah,
For sure.
The quality of Trippier and Isak were on full display. That's those two guys. Like I've been real high on Tonali all year. Earth thinks Bruno Guimaraes is the second coming of Christ. I mean, we're all big on. We all know who their guys are, but Trippier and Isak have so much quality. It looked like in this game, like it looks like there's no way you can stop those two from
Trippier makes the whole
scoring
team
and assisting.
Without Trippier, we wouldn't have made it to the Champions League. We run on him. Like he is the engine of the team.
The quality of those two dudes, along with how solid Bruno and Tonali are and Anthony Gordon's been, is what you need to just challenge the Big Six, which would I think we throw Brighton in the Big Six now and take Man United out. But
By the way, no.
I see what you did there. Snuck Chelsea out. Just Chelsea in there too, huh?
Yeah, no, just had to throw Man United astray and had to, we're not worried about Chelsea right now. Chelsea's doing all right.
I did see a report that West Ham's coach is looking to move Jared Bowen to center forward.
David Moyes.
Yeah, so that could be interesting.
Yeah, he finishes well, man. He might as well. Better than big fucking Antonio in the middle.
Who's their guy that would stick out on the wing?
If you're playing Chelsea, I'm gonna put Antonio in.
I think they have Ben Rama could play out on the wing pretty easily. Kudus, right wing, yeah, easy.
Oh, okay.
Kudus,
well, yeah, that's their best. That's got to be their best team.
Yeah,
I don't know if you make that change yet until Jared Bowen stops scoring. If Jared Bowen doesn't stop scoring from the right wing, no need to change anything.
I mean, you could just, but keep him going. Put him up top. Why not? If he keeps scoring.
Yeah,
you said something about Anthony Gordon being really good this year. He didn't play in the game. I don't know if it was because he was injured or what, but we started Elliott Anderson at left wing. I assume just because he was tired from the midweek games, but I thought Elliott.
I mean, come on, man. They're professionals. Well. This is their job. Like, this isn't November. We're close to November, but this isn't like February. This isn't the dog days. We haven't really gotten into it yet.
I get it. I mean, he's a young kid too, but you don't
Yeah,
want
he's
to
a
put
young
too
kid.
much
He likes to
strain.
be firing.
We don't have much depth at that position either. So I mean, if Elliot Anderson, he played really, really well on that left wing, by the way. I mean, if he can do that job against West Ham and we get a draw, I mean, a draw's not obviously what you want, but I mean, I'll take it. Why not? It's better than a loss.
I had the fortunate opportunity to watch this game at Ertel's residence with Ertel.
Woke him up bright and early.
To many people because he was he started standing in the 3rd minute, and that's when I kind of knew we might be in trouble for a long game here. And then the West Ham players started flopping left and right, and boy, they were getting called some names in that house.
Woo! I'm not proud
But
of
I thought it was
anything that
kind
I
of an
said.
unlucky. I thought it was an unlucky result for Newcastle. I think they kind of deserved 3 points here, especially 3 shots on target for West Ham, and they get 2 goals out of it.
Yeah,
it kind of felt like they were going to get a second goal late. It was just the feeling in the house, but still think they outplayed them and probably deserved all 3, especially Isak. Put on nice little 2-piece right there.
clinic. Yeah, we were definitely. I
yeah,
was definitely ready for the final whistle there. Definitely ready to get that over with. Take my point.
Another note on Bruno G.
He was very to get a second yellow card.
Yeah, he was
An
very
idiot
lucky
in
to
the
not
first
get
half.
a second yellow card. He did some fucking stupid ass shit again. I don't know if he punched somebody again. He did some stupid shit early, and then really, really fortunate to not get a yellow again. Been pretty lucky the last 2 games. I mean, the Champions League game against Paris and this game. He definitely needs to. I love the aggression, but let's calm it the fuck down. We do need you on the field.
Yeah, take it off about 20%.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah, there's there's definitely no team in the league that the gap between how many points they have and how many points they probably deserve is bigger of a gap than West Ham. It's the type of team you play them and you hate them for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
They stole 2 or 3 points off you.
Yeah, they're definitely on my shit list. Definitely on my shit list right now. I'm not a fan of the way that they play soccer, but
Gotta do what you gotta do.
whatever gets results, whatever gets results. I'll give
You
it
can't
to you.
argue results. Can't argue.
Can't argue it. Another little tidbit for Newcastle: 18 goals this year from 10 different goal scorers. So it can come from all around. And let's move to Wolves versus Aston Villa. 1-1 draw. Final draw of this weekend. I thought it was slow start in the first half offensively from Wolves, but man, Pedro Neto to He Chan Wang. It's so automatic. Pedro Neto just torches Torres down the right side and plays it into He Chan.
As he does.
Pedro Neto is refusing to let this team be bad, and it's so impressive. I think he's arguably been the best right winger in all of the Premier League this year. I mean, it's tough between him and Salah, I would say, and Saka, but I mean, he's been phenomenal this year. Neto also, I mean, he also had a chance to put him ahead in the 77th, but skied it.
More of a creator than a finisher.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like Mahomes to Kelsey. It's like, whatever. Breeze to Colston.
Oh.
It's whatever.
Talk about He Chang Wang every week. I saw the notification that Wolves scored a goal 1-0, and I just knew. I mean, the kid is flat out unreal. He was only plus 250 to score. He's been plus 600 for that. They're starting to catch on. So it'll probably be minus 130 to score next week.
Wow. He had to have gotten called up for old South Korea, huh? Might have to lay something on him in those international friendlies.
Shout for South Korea.
Yeah, they got Bournemouth coming up. He's gonna have
Bournemouth,
one or
yeah,
two
that's,
against Bournemouth.
That'll be a dogfight right there.
Wolves are gonna be scary for anybody. I think Wolves can get a point off of anybody.
I thought Bill was pretty unlucky to not walk away with 3 in this game. They had a lot of chances early, just couldn't really take them. And then right after they concede, they go right down the field. Pau Torres scores a goal, first time finish. Really, really good from Villa. And I mean, once Wolves went down to 10 men, Mario Lemina got a second yellow card. I thought it was actually pretty soft, especially for a second yellow, but I guess he had too many opportunities.
Yeah, they had some good creation on the left side of the field. Right side was a little lacking. You expect more out of Matty Cash.
Yeah.
But yeah, Watkins played it to Torres. Good little goal. Villa, if they really want to be in that top 5, which will be a Champions League spot most likely for the Premier League next year. They got to win games like this, at least most of the time. Wolves are pretty good, so I don't think it's too much to dwell on. But and going to the national break, they still are in the 5th spot. So
that Wolves team is just not going to go down without a damn good fight. I mean, if you're going to relegate them, you're going to have to bring your best shit because it's not going to be easy.
I didn't hear no bell.
All righty, let's move to the Arsenal versus Man City game. 1-0 win for Arsenal. I'm going to rattle off a few stats for y'all here. Snaps a 12-game win streak for City versus Arsenal in Premier League games. Haaland had 0.00 expected goals for the first time in his Premier League career.
Goose egg.
Big old goose egg.
Goose egg point.
Shouts out to William Saliba. And Pep loses back-to-back Premier League games for the 3rd time since joining City in 2016. So it's not common over here. It's not common at all. I'd almost say that the lock of the week for next week or the week after when we come back for game week 9 is going to be City money line. It's got to be City money line.
You'd like to think. Well, Saliba kind of bodied Haaland up.
Absolutely,
we'll get to that.
Saw that one clip where I've seen so many times Haaland just runs over that dude, and it's not a foul somehow. Saliba said, "Get used to the ground, sir."
Yeah, and he's not that big. He's only about 6 foot, 6'1", I think.
No,
but,
Saliba's every bit of Erling Haaland. He's 6'4", 6'5".
He's 6'4", 6'5"?
Yeah.
Really?
He's a big boy.
I thought he was smaller than that.
Yeah, because
Haaland seems to struggle a little bit with bigger boys like that.
He moves fucking well, man.
Yeah, he's
especially
6'4".
for being that big. He moves very, very well.
Yeah, Arsenal looked more comfortable without the ball against City. And when they did get possession back, they were winning possession back a lot faster than City were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, their press was really, really good all game.
Yeah, City. That's a big part of their game. It's not just possessing; it's winning it back quickly so that they get into those dangerous spots earlier. Mm-hmm. But when Arsenal would win it back, Odegaard would always just have a crucial circle around for a second until he found some space and opened up a lot for them. That's huge. Circles are really effective.
Yeah, I thought Odegaard had a really, really good game, especially with Saka out. I think he had to play a lot more attacking, which, I mean, there's no problem with that. He did a great job.
Was this Martin's first game back?
Yeah, they didn't even know if Martinelli was ready to play or gonna be in at all, gonna be available even. Came in.
He definitely stepped up.
Yeah.
Hey, gotta give
for
Mikel
Saka's
Arteta his
absence.
flowers though. First Premier League win over Pep Guardiola. Finally beats the old boss. Shout out to you, man.
Yeah, it feels like Nick Saban
That's not Big Bro
playing
anymore.
against his assistants. You know,
That's not Big Bro anymore.
I thought it was a pretty interesting lineup from City though, especially with not
very
having
much game on.
Rodri. Especially with not having Rodri. Rico Lewis started at CDM. They had two really good chances early on, I thought, but just couldn't take them. And I think you really just it was very glaring that KDB and Rodri weren't playing in this game. A pretty big lack of quality, I thought, especially in the midfield.
Yeah. With a fully healthy Arsenal and a fully healthy Man City's still a goal or two better. And Arsenal looks really good. But
I think City's it's just showing all the dudes that they lost, Mahrez, Gundogan. I think that loss of depth is really starting to show.
Yeah, this is true.
I agree.
I think if Rodri there, if it's just Rodri and not KDB, I think these teams are very even.
Yeah, I agree.
Add KDB, lean Man City, but with just Rodri, I think this is probably you play this game 10 times, they're going to tie more than 50%.
Yeah.
I thought Tomiyasu for Arsenal had a really, really good game. He was playing really attacking out of that left back position, made some really good runs to free up some space. And Raya gets his third clean sheet in a row for Arsenal in the Premier League. He had some really questionable passes that probably should have led to conceding goals, but didn't. It's probably just Saliba and Gabriel just great performances all around. And I don't really think that Arsenal deserved the win, but I think Martinelli did great to blast it off Ake's face into the net.
Did really well. And Kai Havertz did really well as well.
Kai Havertz with an assist. It hurt to write that on the prep sheet. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, he's back. So you might well get to it.
So back.
Yeah,
They
we
play
are back.
they play Chelsea after the international break, right?
Yeah, they do.
He's got to start that game. Got to start that game. Need to see it.
Wow. Get your popcorn.
I'm gonna have the M&Ms in the popcorn.
Ready.
That's one of those.
Can't wait for the narratives to start if he does one good thing.
Kai Havertz is etched in
Kai Havertz
Chelsea
hat-trick.
history, man. Always going to be a part of Chelsea history.
It's true.
He scored one of the most important goals of Chelsea Football Club's history.
Is that it for that game? Y'all got anything else? I had one more thing. I thought that it was going to be the best game of the week, but I actually did fall asleep during this game. So
wow.
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit of a letdown.
A little bit of a snooze fest.
A
Literally.
lot of the star power wasn't there. So
it was just a chess match tactically, and sometimes that can be a little bit boring, but still a pretty decent game all around. I wish I wouldn't have been asleep for the goal.
Yeah. Throwing De Bruyne and Bukayo Saka into this game would have made it must-see TV for sure.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
No snoozing.
All right, let's move to our
No,
player.
I got nothing.
All right, let's move to our player of the week for game week 8. You know that I've got more than one guy, so I'm just going. Actually, I'm just going to stick with one guy for this week. I think somebody else might cover the other one. I'm going to go with Jack Harrison. I'm going to shout out the ACC prodigy. First Premier League start for him for Everton. Goal and an assist, wonder strike and an assist. Maybe he's the answer to Everton's problem. Maybe he's going to get him back on track. So I'm going to go with him.
I don't know if I thought for sure I'd be the only one with this, but I'm a little bit fearful now hearing Luke's analysis of the Arsenal game. But William Saliba is my player of the week. Am I safe? Am I the
Great
only one
shout.
there?
I could have said that's up there for me, but yeah, that's
Okay.
all you, man.
Sweet. Yeah, I
Great.
saw the video Luke's speaking of, and then also like the whole game. He shut him out the whole game. He's really in his definition of pocketed him. Just in y'all's free time, if you're an aspiring center back, go watch William Saliba versus Man City this weekend.
Yeah,
a little bit of compilation.
Oh,
We'll go Sam Johnstone.
my
Wow.
player of the week.
Great shout.
Oh,
Yeah.
Adam, just wait for last. Let Luke go real quick.
I mean, he just kept him in this game. He's been keeping him in these games. I think he deserves a man of the week, player of the week, at least one of these weeks.
Yeah.
So I didn't see a whole lot of outstanding performances across the league. So I thought this was a good week to give it to him.
That's a great shout, man. Leading the league in clean sheets. He deserves it.
Good shout.
You go, Bubba.
I went the Dream Sterling.
Raheem Sterling.
Kid ate our lunch. Drew a penalty. I mean, assisted a goal, scored a goal.
Caused an own goal.
You name it, he did it all.
Directly contributed to all four.
Either we have
I mean,
the worst right back in history, which we might, but he looked pretty damn good. He was playing left wing, wasn't he?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, Palmer was on the right. So maybe it's a nice little spot he could fit into. But I was really impressed with him. I think if he wasn't there, Burnley probably would have won that game.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, Raheem's our guy. Heem's our guy versus small teams. Cole Palmer's our guy versus big teams.
Yeah, we'll see what Cole Palmer can do.
I just want to throw one more player in because nobody else took him. Scott McTominay deserves it. Played 9 minutes, scored 3 goals. 1 got disallowed. Definitely deserved it. Put all of Man United on his fucking back. So shouts out to Scott McTominay. You deserve it, man.
I get it.
Whole city. Put the whole city on his back.
Put the whole city on his back. All righty, let's move to stinker of the week for game week 8. And I'll just start off, man. Erling Braut Haaland. There's no fucking way that this kid can win the fucking Ballon d'Or this year. There's no. We haven't talked about this dude the past 3 fucking weeks.
Hold on. The count's been stopped.
No. I get that the count's been stopped, but I'm just talking like even if he does win it, that's bullshit because you cannot. He affects the game so little when you're not just putting it on a platter to him. It's insane, man. We haven't talked about this dude for the last 3 weeks. He's the best player in the whole fucking league. He's still leading in goals, but like it's just so quiet right now. And I mean, completely locked up by William Saliba. Completely locked up. I just don't see how this could be the best.
If Haaland was such a good player, if Haaland was the best player in the world, he would have had Norway in the World Cup.
Yeah, I agree.
You put Mbappe on Norway, Norway gets there.
I just in this big of a game to have this little of an effect. He has to be stinker of the week.
He does very bad against physical defenders. The first time I really saw this and stood out was Rudiger when they played Madrid. Rudiger ate his lunch.
I think if he's still surrounded by people like a De Bruyne, he's still gonna attract so much attention from their defense.
Yeah.
It's like De Bruyne 8 in those Madrid games. So I don't know, man. I think
he's putting it on a silver platter for him though. When the midfield is human, he hasn't looked very good.
Well, if everyone could do what he does, they would do it.
Yeah.
My stinker of the week easily could go to Haaland. Deciding between him, João Pedro of Brighton, and then Onana. I'm gonna give it to Onana. I'm not just gonna let him get saved by the bell or
Mm.
saved by the McTominay. Onana sucks, dude. He's so bad. He's such a spaz every time. He's worse at shots that are easier to save. Like he over exaggerates his saves to try. I don't think he's consciously trying to make him look cool, but I think that's why he's become somebody who over exaggerates every save because maybe he wants to make it look cool. I don't know. I can't think of any other excuse. I don't know. Stinker of the week.
I'll go with Holland as well. No impact
Yeah,
on
I
this
think he
one.
deserves it.
I'm going to defend him as a whole, but yeah, I mean,
I'm not saying that he's a
A little
bad
bit.
player. I just don't think that he can win a Ballon d'Or. Like you can't. Whoever's going to win a Ballon d'Or, in my opinion, is going to affect every game that they play in some way. He had no effect whatsoever in this game.
My stinker of the week is Vincent Company. I don't know what his halftime talk was, but team came out flatter than the Dr. Pepper that's been sitting open for 2 weeks. Just embarrassing effort in the second half. Looked like we belonged in freaking MLS. I'd love to see JJ Watt get in the locker room at halftime. Fire the guys up. JJ,
Stinker of the week from the
what's
touchline. That's tough, man. That's tough.
Could have gave it to James Trafford, giving up 4 goals. Could have gave it to the Burnley defense. But I'm an angry fan, pissed. I thought we could get at least a point off Chelsea. And it's just disappointing all around.
The Chelsea team came alive, man.
Best player on the team doesn't start. I'm not sure what we're doing there.
You
But,
knew once Modric
yeah.
scored, they were going to be on fire. All righty. Let's move to our middle segment for today's episode, which will be start, bench, sell. Let's just get right into it. Start, bench, sell Saliba, Van Dijk, and Ruben Diaz. I'm going to start Saliba, bench Van Dijk, and sell Diaz.
damn.
And that's just going off of right now.
Yeah.
Right now for next week, yeah, I'd probably do the same thing. I guess if that's what we're going, then yeah, that's my answer too.
I had Diaz on my starting 11 for the world, but he might be on the sell on this one. I mean, I haven't seen him do what Salah did to Holland. You literally can't. So
I would sell Diaz as well, but I'd start Virgil instead. I just think Virgil's money.
Virgil's the perfect center back built in the lab. He's just been a little bit shaky this year, just a little bit.
I love himself.
Same as last year. Last year he didn't have a very good year.
Speed, height, he's got it all.
All right, let's move to the next one. We've got start, bench, or sell Mo Salah, Bukayo Saka, or Heung-min Son. I'm going to start Salah, bench Sonny, sell Saka.
Outrageous.
I'd do the same only because of the transfer value for Saka that you could get right now is nuts. Probably the biggest in history. So
only possible answer you could give here would be is that Saka's hurt right now. But I would start Saka, bench Salah, and sell Sonny.
Wow. Wow.
yeah,
I think Saka is. I think Saka's him.
this is a tough one.
didn't we have several
That is a tough
conversations
one.
about Mo Salah being top 3 or 5 in the world at a period right now?
I'm still
Yeah, he is.
starting Salah.
So
And Sonny's been on fire. Can't argue with his.
You can have him on the wing or you can put him at striker. I think that's why I've got him over Saka right now.
God, not selling Saka, like it's just.
It's tough. He's a stall boy, but
But I guess I'm going to do it.
you gotta do
Fuck.
it.
we'll take our 180 million and hit the road.
All righty, let's go to. So the next one, start, bench, or sell Ederson, Allison, or Areola. Instead of Areola, do y'all want to do Johnstone?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
All right,
get the,
so it'll be Ederson, Allison, or Johnstone. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start Ederson, bench Johnstone, and sell Allison.
If it was just for next game, I'm starting Johnstone.
Yeah.
And selling Allison. But if it's for like the rest of this season or next couple years, I'm starting Allison, benching Ederson, selling Johnston.
I'm starting Johnstone, benching Allison. A lot because Allison didn't play well this past week.
Yeah, he did.
And then I'm selling Ederson. Allison's better than Ederson.
I would
Yeah.
I would sell Ederson, bench Allison, start Matt Turner.
Fantastic. That's fantastic. All righty, to the next one. Start, bench, or sell Kieran Trippier, Trent Alexander-Arnold, or Kyle Walker. I'm going to start Trips. A little bit of bias there. Bench Kyle Walker and sell Trent Alexander-Arnold. I think Trent is a center mid, not a right back.
And why put him in there? Makes you wonder. I'm gonna start Kyle Walker, bench Trippier, and I'm gonna sell Alexander Arnold.
Do the same thing. I mean, all three of these guys on their day are the probably best in the world on their day. Just depends on how often their day comes. Seems like, I mean, Trippier is very, very consistent. Probably most consistent on here, but Kyle Walker on his day, I'll take him over Trippier on his day. I apologize, but I just will.
I
That's
would
fair. That's very fair.
sell Trent, bench Kyle Walker, and start Trippier. That guy just brings a fire to the pitch that,
Damn.
I mean, he can get that whole team going. There ain't no reason to put that fire on the bench.
Him and
Kyle Walker
Lascelles-
also brings fire as well, so can make the argument about both of them bringing fire to the field. But I like Trips there, especially with set pieces that he can provide.
Good point.
Trippier and Lascelles together as captains is just so fiery. It's insane. Couldn't ask for better captains. Let's move to the next one, though. We've got Darwin Nunez, Julian Alvarez, and Alexander Isak. I thought this one was really tough, but I'm going to start Alvarez, bench Isak, and sell Nunez.
I thought this is
I'm gonna start Alvarez. I'm gonna bench Nunez, and you can get this Jonathan Isaac guy out of my face.
Jonathan Isaac is a way better finisher than that old Darwin Nunez guy.
Jonathan Isaac is back, by the way. But anyway, yeah, Alexander Isaac.
Well,
I would. This question seemed pretty easy for me. I would sell the shit out of Darwin Nunez, bench Isak, and start Alvarez.
Yeah, definitely start Alvarez. I don't know. The price you could get on Alvarez would be nuts, but
it really would.
I don't know. He's just
I mean, are
great.
we looking at this from a freaking financial standpoint?
Yeah, that's why I sell. You don't. It's not start bench cut. Start bench sell.
That could have changed some answers.
Yeah,
I'd sell the fuck out of Darwin Nunez still, bro. At least get 80 up back on his ass.
No,
Shit, I'd sell Alvarez then, brother. That's gonna pay for generations there.
Yeah, you definitely.
That's
I think you take a
197
loss
down
on
the
Darwin
hole.
Nunez right now, but
Nunez might give you 25 mil.
yeah, he's not giving you the same 80 he was as a mysterious fucking.
Nunez
from
probably giving you the
Portugal.
least amount of money right now, in my opinion. I think Isak could be, and then Alvarez give you the most money. I don't think I'd. If I just had Julian Alvarez on my team, I'm not selling that motherfucker. No way.
Fair.
Yeah, I've been looking at it more of a start bench cut kind of thing. But
Was that it on
next
that one?
one?
All right. Next one, start bench cut Dominic Soboslai, Enzo Fernandez, and Bruno Guimaraes.
So we are cutting now.
Well, if we were selling,
Did I say start bench cut?
yeah,
You did.
Oh, my fault. I'll just restart.
that actually
So
this is
funny.
actually one of
No,
one
it's
of the
good.
biggest one that matters with.
Yeah. Alrighty. So the next one, start bench sell Dominic Soboslai, Enzo Fernandez, and Bruno Guimaraes. I still haven't filled this one out on my paper. I'm not gonna lie. But only a small sample size of Soboslai in the Premier League, but man, he's looked so fucking good. Enzo has looked terrific, and Bruno's completely turned the team around from a relegation team into a top 4 team. Him and Trippier, but just because it's sell, I think
You have to sell Enzo.
yeah, I'm gonna sell
100%.
Enzo, but I think
Hopefully you get 80% of what Chelsea bought him for.
I think you do. I think Caicedo
yeah.
dropped by 50%. I think Enzo stayed the same or went up 5
Yeah.
mil.
I think he
I'm
stayed the
sticking with
same, maybe
my,
went down a little bit, but
I'm sticking with my start bench cut theory here. Starting Enzo, benching Sabalase, and I'm sending Bruno G to my youth academy.
If it was start bench cut, I would do the same.
I'm gonna.
I do not think Bruno G is anywhere near this conversation. I think that is very biased.
No. You need what you need to do is just go to YouTube and look up like isolated footage of him. He does fantastic keeping the ball and facilitating for us. But you know what? Just do your research, man. I'm gonna start Bruno, bench Soboslai, and sell Fernandez.
I'm starting Soboslai, benching Bruno, and tell him to bring me my money.
Tell him, bring me my money. We got to stitch that one in. Meeks, did you do yours?
Yeah.
All right. The next one will be start, bench, sell Basuma, Declan Rice, and Caicedo. I'm going to start Basuma, bench Caicedo, and sell Declan Rice. Tell him to bring me my fucking money. If I can get half of it back for Declan Rice. I don't think I will.
I'm going with that order right there. Basuma, I'm benching Declan. I'm not high on Caicedo.
Oh no, I sold Declan Rice. I sold Declan Rice.
No, I'm saying I'm sticking with
going
the
the order of
order
the
on the
sheet.
screen.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen enough out of Caicedo. I think Brighton replaced him very easily. Of course, West Ham did pretty well too, but yeah, just more of a Declan guy myself.
I don't see it.
Definitely start Basuma. I don't know. Both Declan Rice and Caicedo, no matter how good or bad they would have done this year, there's no way anybody's ever getting that much money for either of those two dudes ever again. I don't know. Arsenal fucked the whole system up, and then Chelsea had no problem following suit.
Well, Chelsea started it with Enzo. Not like it's as bad, but like they fucking I mean, they did not need to pay that much for him.
This is true.
Because it was an emergency buy. That's why.
I mean, he was a World Cup winner. They already had like a pretty big.
But it was an emergency buy. Like Benfica wanted to keep playing that year. They had a good team, and then they basically made them. They made Enzo quit on them. So like, I don't know. I think that's how it started.
I'd bench Basumo, sell Caicedo, start Declan Rice.
Damn. You're starting Declan Rice over Basuma.
Yep.
Basuma's by far, I think, been the best defensive mid this year, especially out of those three. But hey, that's an interesting take, man. Let's move to the next one. Start, bench, or sell James Madison, Bruno Fernandez, and Martin Odegaard. This was another really tough one for me, but actually it wasn't. It's start Madison, bench Odegaard, and sell Bruno Fernandez. Just like that.
I'm gonna start Odegaard still. I think he's been still really good this year. Madison's
He's
like
just been
1A
better.
TM in the league. Bruno's still so good, just
Yeah.
not in the form that these two guys are.
He just hasn't been
Dave
on level with
Madison's
these
playing
two.
out of his mind.
Yeah, if it was for the next 5 games alone, give me James Madison. Selling Bruno either way. But if it was for my future, give me Martin O. Starting.
Did y'all have any more that y'all wanted to do?
I need to do. I would sell Madison, bench Fernandez, and start Odegaard.
Wow.
And I did have one more. John Brooks, team, Omar
Hey.
Gonzalez,
I'll say.
starting John Brooks,
Hold up.
benching Omar, and selling Tim Ream.
Hold up, Adam. Let me say it because you got. All right. So Bubba had one last one. John Brooks, Tim Ream, and Omar Gonzalez. You can start with them.
Start John Brooks, benching Omar, and selling Tim Ream for probably a bag of candy.
I'm
The
starting
disrespect.
John Brooks. It's always John Brooks. It's always been John Brooks. He's always the answer.
Yeah.
You don't get past John Brooks.
Yeah.
Well, bench Tim Ream. Sell Omar.
I'm gonna start Ream.
Wow. I
I'm
can't
gonna
believe you
bench
just said that.
Brooksy. And
This guy's Ream over Brooks. Unreal.
listen, man. They've both been pretty consistent at the top level. I get that John Brooks has.
This is John fucking
Are we
Brooks
doing
we're
it all for
talking
right
about here.
now? Are we doing it all for right now, or is it just?
Hey, go ahead and plug in that John Brooks World Cup goal right here.
All
Put it right here.
prime. All you got to go all their prime.
all
Well, Tim
prime. I
Ream's
mean,
prime is like
John Brooks
35
hasn't
to
played
30,
for
so-
us in
Yeah,
his
Tim
prime.
Ream's prime was the World Cup that Adam did not watch.
Tim
Yeah.
Ream's prime was 15 years ago when he was in the probably 30
John
years ago when
Brooks'
he was in
prime was 15
full-
years ago.
Tim Ream's type of
Tim-
dude that go to the Marines for 4 years, go
Tim Ream's
back to
prime was
some
40
college
years
on the
ago.
East Coast for 4 years, play soccer all 4 years, graduate when he's 28, and go to the Premier League when he's 30.
And just
Tim Ream's
fucking
prime was
kill
50 years ago when he was in the system.
I get that John Brooks has the iconic goal in the World Cup, but I just straight resume. Tim Ream has a better resume.
Tim Ream just started his
Outside of
400
not in the U.S.,
400th
not in the
start.
United States, not in the
400 start.
USNT.
He captains a team in the Premier. He captained the
Not
team
for
to
the
Premier
United
League.
States, though. John Brooks has a way better resume for the United States.
Yeah, okay. For the United States, yeah, John Brooks scored a goal in a winning goal in the World Cup. That's kind of hard.
Now,
to
why
fucking
hasn't Tim
understand
Ream
that.
been there? I don't know.
He was so fucking solid in the World Cup. If you would have watched it, you would have loved him, man.
He was a
You'd
top
love-
3 or 4 player on our
loved him.
team in the
You'd
best
love-
team that we
I
brought
actually
to a
did
World
watch
Cup.
the World Cup, believe it or not.
Oh my gosh, you did? Did you watch
did.
us play? No.
He only
Yeah,
watched.
watch us
He only
lay
watched
egg
when we were on
to
Yeah,
offense.
he only
Netherlands.
watched Portugal.
It's all Dumfries.
Suey.
Dumfries.
That'll be it for us on this episode. Catch us next week. We'll be covering what happened in the international break. USA plays Ghana, Germany. See how they do against them. And we're going to be predicting
Vamos.
what happens in the next week.
Thank you, guys. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe. Tell your friends.
Like, subscribe, comment.